Hey guys, this is Savus, and today I would like to give you my honest review on the art satchel and the field case by Etchr Lab. I purchased these two items about a year ago from their Kickstarter campaign and received them at the beginning of this year. Previously to the campaign, Etchr Lab sent many prototypes of these bags to fellow YouTubers and artists for a review, and they all made extremely positive videos that encouraged their viewers, including myself and a very good friend of mine, to purchase these bags. Now, half a year after receiving them, I found my art satchel somewhere deep in my closet, and I only used it once right away after receiving it and then completely ditched it. Surprisingly, the same thing happened to my friend. She only used her bag once. Today I'm going to give this bag another try, load it with all of my favorite art supplies and take it out for a test. Now I'm actually taking a series of tests and I'm going to test it throughout the next week or two and give you my honest opinion and tell you if the investment worth it, because these bags are very expensive. If you're not familiar with Etchr Lab or their products, I highly recommend checking them out and I'll leave a link in the description below. In this video, I'm not going to cover the basic functions of these bags. If you're interested in them, again, check the link in the description below. Go to their website, they explain it well. Before we begin, I have a small disclaimer. I fully support Etchr Lab and I would like to thank them for designing and creating great stuff for artists. I really hope that this review, even though it does have some negative critique, it will only encourage them to create even better products. With that said, let's begin. So for my first test, I took the Etchr Lab with me for the entire day, which means spending a lot of time standing in buses and then spending 9 hours at my day job and then probably going to the park or a nice place where I can sketch. And I wanted to sketch with watercolors, so I took my watercolor sketchbook with me as well as suitable art supplies. If you're interested in seeing what art supplies I use, I made an entire video just about the art supplies that I have. I'll put a link in the description below. Please check it out. First of all, I tried the study mode, and it was really useful when you have a table which is flat. You already have like a pretty well organized, stable space where you want to work, and then you just open it like this and you have a nice workstation. Even those straps, they look kind of flimsy, they actually hold the entire thing well, and my bag turned out to be pretty heavy and they still held really well. So I was impressed by this mode. I can totally see myself use it in my studio. By the time I reached the park, my back was aching a little bit, so I realized that this bag was actually way too heavy to use it as a standing table, which is why I bought this bag in the first place. But the thing is, I didn't even put a lot of stuff in it, so it had no reason to be heavy. I actually tried to be very minimalistic with my supplies and all the other stuff that I take with me. So at this point I also realized I couldn't use it in a study mode like I did at work, because my legs were not a stable flat surface and that caused problems. I actually felt like this time the straps were too flimsy and my bag might get damaged if I'll try and keep it in a weird angle with the straps attached. So what I did, I actually sat with it, and as you can see, I struggled a little bit to turn it into the right mode. And also I'm very careful, because on the side of the bag that I'm folding back and it's rubbing against my knees, I have brushes there, and brushes are very sensitive and you can damage the bristles very easily. So this is not something I would normally do. Also, if you're standing this way, your art supplies, they might fall because, you know, they're just facing the floor and the only thing that holds them are those rubber bands. And I'm not sure how safe it is, especially if you have expensive art supplies that you don't want to lose. Okay, so I've been fighting with this tripod for a pretty long time now. I have this set up pretty high. This is high enough for me to enjoy what I'm doing. I have the storage here, my materials are available, and yeah, that's kind of sturdy, like I can paint on it and it's kind of cool. Will I ever use it as my easel? Probably not. That's like too much setup to do. It's kind of terrifying. I was pretty sure I'm going to break my tripod while doing it. I'm not taking my tripod anywhere with me. One of the reasons why I like this bag is because I just wanted like some minimalism. Probably there are artists who are going to use it on a tripod. I'm not one of them. This might be a nice piece of studio equipment, but again, like, you can get studio equipment pretty cheap. This bag is very expensive if you're just buying it to stand in your studio. That's a little bit, I think it's a waste of money. So yeah, this function, it can work. I had to fidget with it a lot. I was pretty much unable to use these small straps to create the learning mode. The learning mode doesn't work well when it's not stable, when it's like tilted. Also, I kind of like in the middle of trying to adjust it, as you can see, my hands are really red from trying to adjust everything. So I was like losing those small miscellaneous parts. It's so easy to lose one of them and then you have no replacement, and that's it, you're pretty much screwed. And another thing that I've noticed, I was like, yeah, I finally set up this station, I can finally start working, and then I realized that my materials are somewhere around my table, because between the last session and my painting session right now, almost a week passed, and I moved my art supplies to a different pencil case, and that means that I'm going to set up this entire thing again. Okay, so after we did the review on the art satchel, I think that it's fair to do a review on the field case. Now, this is definitely the most expensive pencil case that you're ever going to get. The materials are the same as the art satchel. They're superb, they're really, really nice, and the material on the inside is nice as well. If you ask me, do I necessarily need this amazing pencil case in my life, then let me tell you, it is comfortable, it is nice, it's a nice gift, it makes a great art supply to your collection, but you don't really need this. Like, there is nothing magical about these guys other than the quality of the materials and the overall quality of the product. And of course, you'd want to support creative people, so these might be the only motivations for you to buy these. So the biggest con I could find is actually the weight of this bag. This little small bag, when completely empty, weighs as much as my Logitech suitcase, which has a full handle made out of metal and of course wheels. This can be due to overusing the material, because there is no reason for such a small bag to weigh as much as a huge suitcase. Okay guys, my final thoughts on this product. It's really pretty, it's beautiful, it's made out of great materials. It has so much ambition and so much thought put into it that at some point I felt like they kind of missed one of the most important parts, and that's simplicity. Because this bag is competing with very simple bags that weigh close to nothing, that you can use for any other purpose, and yeah. So the problems that I saw with this bag were, one, you can't really put a lot of stuff in the bag, and that's a big problem, because the bag itself, it seems big, it is heavy, but it doesn't have much space in it. Also, this bag, it weighs 3 kgs, which is a lot, and it's empty with 3 kgs. Now, I'm a completely healthy person, but when I asked my doctor how much should my backpack weigh so I won't damage my back, and he said 5 kgs. If this bag, completely empty, weighs 3 kgs, that means that the weight of the content should be less than the weight of the backpack itself, which is kind of weird and pretty much impossible. So yeah, problem with space, problem with weight. Another problem is you can't really just take whatever you have in your bag and toss it into another bag if you need it. So if you want to use this bag, you need to spend at least half an hour organizing your art supplies, putting them in the right slots, organizing your stuff. I understand that it's supposed to be highly functional, like highly customable, but at this point it's a little bit too much. Like I find myself getting lost in all the functions that this bag has to offer, and I actually spent too much time. So many times I had the urge to just grab all my art supplies, throw them in the cheapest pencil case I can find, and just go somewhere. So that's a big problem for me. From what I understand, this bag has three main modes. One of them is the study mode that I really enjoyed, but unfortunately it only works if you have a really nice flat surface like a tabletop. The other mode, when you can stand and you have like a table in front of you, that puts a lot of weight and a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and this is something that I don't recommend you doing. With the table mode, you basically have to put all of your art supplies to the back part of your bag, which means that you have very limited access to them. Now, regarding to this guy, this pencil case, it is really useful. It is nice. It's very expensive. If you can't afford it, you don't have to, because there are a lot of pencil cases that are much cheaper and they have pretty much the same functionality. If you got this as a gift or you want to treat yourself still and you have the money, that's great. The materials are amazing. It has this really nice strap. It has a very nice feel. It is still a little bit big and a little bit bulky. That's 0.4 kgs if I'm correct. It's not bad. It's good. My friend fell in love with this guy, and I kind of fell in love with it too, so I sometimes take it with me. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. If you think that the cons that I mentioned are not a problem for you, then go for it. It's a really beautiful bag. You'll enjoy carrying it around because it's so damn pretty. There's a mosquito flying in my room. I'm terrified. If you like it, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'm working hard, I'm trying. There are videos every Friday, so don't miss my next week because, guys, I have a surprise for you. So, see you next week. Bye!